Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about your neck. Musicians have a lot of issues with your neck. When it comes to playing, we tend to play a lot in the front of our bodies. We don't play back here, right? So your neck tends to come this way. You've seen this posture before. We call this forward head posture, and we also can tend to call this upper crust syndrome. So it's where the chin juts forward. When the chin juts forward, look what happens. The shoulders round. And if you were to see me here, we also get this. This is an exaggerated posture, but you've seen this before. So what we want is for the spine to be in neutral, and the spine starts right here in between your ears, and it goes all the way down to right in between your hips, okay? So if it's not in neutral, and neutral doesn't mean straight, but neutral, which is where you bring the head back where the ears are over the shoulders, but if you're in this posture, you're not neutral, and if it's not in neutral, then that means that we're going to have dysfunction, and that dysfunction can show up in a lot of different ways. It can show up as thoracic outlet syndrome. It can show up as back pain. It can show up as scapular winging. It can show up as headaches. And you think about how different instruments play in different ways. For example, I'm a flute player. We turn our heads to the left. We never turn our heads to the right. We turn our heads to the left, right? So one side is going to be tighter than the other. What we're going to do here is we're just going to talk about some basics on how you can address your own neck, and these are some things that you can do on a normal, regular, everyday basis, whether it's before playing, in the middle of a long practice session, at the end of a practice session or a rehearsal or a gig, or even at the end of a day. Okay? These are some things that you can do to reduce your risk factor of getting an injury in the neck. Okay? Something I want to show you real quick is if you have not checked out this book, it's an excellent resource, okay? Some of what we're going to talk about comes from this book. So, first things first, we have 3 steps. Release, stretch, activate. Because if you think about a muscle that is, for example, this muscle right here is called your SCM. It goes from here to here. Turns your head to the side, right? And if it's tight and you go to stretch it, if it's tight and you stretch it, you're not going to get a really great stretch, right? So what we want to do is we want to relax those trigger points, those things that cause your neck to be tight. We're going to talk about those in a second. You want to relax those, then we stretch them, then we activate what's on the opposite side, so it's weak. So then we bring the body back into balance, and that way you're able to play longer, stronger, with less pain. Okay, so what we're going to do first, we're going to talk about releasing. And releasing is not exactly the right word, but it works for our purposes today. So think about self-massage. This is what we're going to do. I want you to turn your head to the left or right. You might need to find a mirror to help with this. Okay, so I'm going to turn here so you can see me a little bit better. So if you turn your head to the left or right, you should find this muscle right here, and it goes from behind your ear down to the base of your collarbone. See these 2 little knobs right here? You're going to find that. I want you, between these 2 fingers, turn your head ever so gently, follow it up, okay? Make sure you're not doing this, so bring your head back, okay? So you're going to follow it up. If you find a tender spot, like they're usually down here, they're not in the middle, usually up here or down here, okay? I don't feel anything. I'm going to go over here, right there. There you go, I got something right there. So, you're going to grab hold of this and ever so gently just press. And on a 1 to 10 pain scale, this should never be more than a 7, okay? Oh, I'm pressing that. I'm squeezing this right in between right here. You're not squeezing hard, not at all. It's between my thumb and my first knuckle here. I feel that referred pain right into about this area, okay? That's normal. Woo! And it goes this way up behind the ear. That's how you know if you're on a trigger point. If you press on something and you feel that pain somewhere else, you'll know you're on a trigger point. So I want you to hold that. Breathe. Make sure your knees aren't locked if you're standing, okay? I want you to hold that until the pain goes down to a 1 or a 2, all right? There, that pain has gone away now. So now, you have other muscles that are here on the side of your neck. We want to be really careful in this area. If you don't have anything, you can obviously use your fingers, and you know where those tender points are on the side. You got your scalenes. The 3 scalenes are here. You have your anterior, medial, and posterior scalenes. They're supposed to help with breathing, but a lot of times they end up helping us with our shoulders. They bring our shoulders up. So we use them in the way they're supposed to be secondarily helping, and we use them primarily. So they tend to get really tight. So if you find the base of your neck right here, be very gentle. Do not press hard in this area whatsoever, okay? But if you just kind of palpate around, touch, feel, what feels tight? Is there anything that feels kind of nasty in here? Oh, right there. I've got a scalene right in here. Okay, woo! I feel that in my fingers. That's how you know. Also, here, or right in here, especially anterior, if you find that scalene, you might feel like what feels like an ice pick, just shooting pain down this way. Not to scare you, but that just lets you know scalenes are kind of nasty little muscles. They're little tiny guys, and they just get overused, and so they're letting you know, hey, I'm a little overused, okay? So if you find that right here, whew, yeah, I want to feel that in my fingers, okay? So breathe through that. If it goes straight down, that's fine. If it goes down in your fingers, that's fine. You know you're on the right spot, okay? So I want you to breathe through that and relax. Hold it until it doesn't hurt anymore. Mine's not too bad. You can also lift your head up to the opposite side. Stretch while you do it. It depends on your pain tolerance. It depends on how bad this is. If it's nice, it's not too bad. If it's serious, probably don't do it. Okay, so that's calm down. So that's scalenes. We have other places in the neck. What you can do is if you happen to have a lacrosse ball, ideally, or 2 tennis balls, you want to put 2 of these in a sock. They actually have these where they're fused together. I don't have one with me right now. But you can put 2 of them together, and you can roll up and down your spine right in here and right in here on the floor, okay? I don't recommend this up against the wall, but it is an option if you happen to have one, okay? Think about what your massage therapist does on your neck. Also, be very aware, this is a delicate area. You've got arteries and veins and all kinds of things, so you want to be really kind of careful. All right? So once we have relaxed these muscles, so we've got our scalenes here, SCM, those are mainly the tight ones. You might feel some tenderness back up in here, but think about that position we were in. If you're this way, those muscles are not strong, they're weak. We've got to strengthen those. So we've relaxed these, now we're going to stretch them, right? So what you're going to do, I want you to look straight. We've got 3 neck stretches. Caveat, if you have a hypermobile neck, if you've had whiplash, if you've had any kind of those things, take these with a grain of salt. Some people love these, some people are not much of a fan, okay? Everybody's different, okay? So what I want you to do is you are going to take we're going to go left hand. Take your left hand, put it in the small of your back. You're going to take your face, look straight ahead. This is not straight ahead. This is not straight ahead. This is not straight ahead. Straight ahead. You'll see why I mean in a minute. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to look straight, and I want you to bring your hand close to, like right above your temple, and try to bring your right ear to your shoulder while you pull the shoulder blade down. So you're going to pull the shoulder blade down, look straight this way. The reason why I said straight ahead is because generally what happens is people do this. That's not straight. This is straight. We're trying to stretch these muscles called your upper traps, okay? So I want you to stretch this way and pull that shoulder down, okay? Hold and relax. Make sure your knees are unlocked. If you're sitting, that's even better. If you don't feel anything, what I want you to do, look up and to the left. So we go from this position up and to the left. It's going to stretch your SCM, which is right here, okay? You're going to go right above your eyebrow, pull that shoulder blade down towards the ground, gently go back this way, okay? If this feels really tight and it feels like a good stretch, if you want to have a little bit more of an extra stretch, what you do, gently press into your fingers right above your eyebrow. Only maybe 5 to 10% of what you can do, and be very careful about this. So 5%, 3, 2, 1, relax. That's going to go a little bit farther. Okay. So third stretch, you're going to look down to your opposite foot. So you're pulling your shoulder blade down. Look down towards your right foot. This is my left shoulder. Look down towards your right foot. You might have to move your head a little bit, but what we're looking for are your levator scapula. They go from here to here. These are the muscles we're trying to figure out. Okay? And you're going to pull straight that way. Oh, there it is. And again, if you want a little bit more of an intense stretch, I want you to push back slightly and then relax, and then go forward. To me, honestly, that feels better on my right side. I should have done that. Anyway, okay, so that's our 3 stretches. And you want to hold those 10-15 seconds, not a really long time, okay? So next thing we're going to do, so we mobilized, we stretched, and then we're going to activate. So think about the things that are on the opposite side of the front of your neck. We need to worry about the back of your neck. So what we're going to do is something called chin tucks. I'm going to show you something that you can do while you're sitting in your car, while you're sitting in rehearsal, while you're sitting wherever you are. And you don't have to have a stable spot behind you, but it just kind of helps to guide. Okay, it looks like this. So ordinarily we're like this. Notice my ears are not over my shoulders. We tend to want to go where our eyes go. And if our eyes are this way, our head goes this way. Then your knees lock, then your back arches, and your abs don't engage, and all these things, right? So what we're going to do, if you pull your ears back over your shoulders, look what happens. Okay? We call these chin tucks. I want you to think like your chin is on rails. It's going straight back along this line. Along your jawline, you've got a set of railroad tracks, and your head is going to go straight back. Okay? So when I say chin tuck, a lot of times I get this. Oh, a tuck, not a tuck down. Okay? So we're going to go straight this way. Now, if you're against a wall, or you're against your car headrest, or you are against your mattress or the floor, be very gentle against pushing. Okay? So what I want you to do, you're going to pull your head straight back, touch the wall, or push into the wall. You should feel a really nice stretch right here. If you get yourself a little bit of a double chin, you're doing it right, okay? It's not an attractive face. That means you're doing it right, okay? So I want you to pull back, hold 3, 2, 1, relax. 3, 2, 1, relax. And 3, 2, 1, relax. So, I mean, hold these as long as you need to. We have some other options as well. So we have something called extension. Extension is where your head goes back. And again, if you've had any kind of car injury, whiplash, that kind of stuff, be very careful with this. If you have a hypermobile neck or any kind of ligament damage, take this with a grain of salt and make sure you check with your doctor first. But here's what we have. So if you bring your head straight back, turn to the side, turn to the side. That's extension and rotation. So what we're going to do, I want you to tuck your chin, bring back, and come on back. We're going to turn and come up. I'm going to do that again, okay? From another vantage point, you're going to tuck, just like on rails. Tuck, hold, come on back. Turn, and then come forward. If that feels okay, we're going to move to this. So what you're going to do is you're going to tuck. So it is a chin tuck where you're going this way. Tuck down, but then I'm pushing back. You can't tell because I'm against the floor. You're going to tuck down and push back. Lift up. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For anybody with any kind of ligament damage or any kind of whiplash, that might be more difficult. That's fine. So start with where you are, okay? So tuck, push, up and hold. Notice we're trying to keep this spine in neutral here and relax. If this is easy, if you have a asymmetrical instrument, try this. Turn to the right, tuck, lift, back down. Turn to the left, tuck, lift. Which side is more difficult? That's the side that you want to actually strengthen. So, if I turn to the left, guess what? When I play, I'm going to want to turn to the right and strengthen that. So it looks like this. For my flute players, you're going to turn to the right, lift, and down. Tuck, lift, down. This works for violinists and violists as well. For harpists, you probably want to turn to the left because you're always looking to the right. Asymmetrical players. Trombonists, you guys put your instrument on one side, but you don't look to the other side. So if you are a guitarist or a banjo player or someone who tends to look down, if you're right-handed, you're going to look down more towards the left, possibly. more than you're gonna look to the right. Everybody's a little different. I want you to find what works for you, find where your individual muscle imbalances are, and thanks for joining me today, guys.